Welcome back, it's me, Lou. I'm here for another action figure unboxing and review. Today from Super7, in the ReAction line of action figures, we are featuring the Transformers, the movie Quintesson action figure. Okay, so today is November 23rd, 2024. I bought this maybe 2 months ago at my local Target. I'm not always on board with the ReAction figures. I do think they're fantastic. It's a real throwback to the toys I grew up on, or at least that kind of style of form factor. With the card backing, the bubble, and even the figure designs themselves, it's really paying homage to the figures that we grew up with in the 1980s. More so the Kenner Star Wars action figures. The Transformer figures they're producing, they're really, really well done. The only reason why I haven't dived deep into them is just because they're kind of expensive, especially for as small as they are. I couldn't say no to this one, though. The Quintesson, it's very, very screen accurate to what you see in the animated feature. And I just had to have it. Hasbro, I think they've made 1 or 2 Quintesson figures in the past that were inspired by the 86 movie, but they were never like spot on to like what you see on the big screen. Whereas this one, this looks really, really close. The card backing, like I said, it's very retro inspired. Beautiful graphics. It looks really, really nice. On the back, this is awesome. This is a real flashback to yesterday with the checklist of all the different figures in the assortment. And Super7, they're not shy about producing ReAction figures. They make so many for any of their lines, whether it's Godzilla, G.I. Joe. The Transformer ones, they're kind of popular in my area because they sell out pretty fast, and it's not very often that I see some of these figures in the wild. So there is a market for this. But yeah, let's get back to this guy right here. Very excited to check him out. Alright, so first impressions of the figure, it's awesome. This is like the Quintesson figure I always wish I had growing up as a kid. Back in the 80s, they never gave us any Quintessons. They just produced the Sharkticon figure, but no Quintessons whatsoever. There's been third-party companies in Asia that have produced Quintessons, but it's kind of cool to get a semi-official product, with this one being licensed to Super7 from Hasbro. You can see here he comes with his little blaster. And I'm gonna have to figure out how to get this out. It's like taped. It's taped into the packaging. There we go. All right, so we'll look at this later. Set that aside. But let's first look at the Quintessons and all the different faces. So if you're familiar with the 86 animated feature, this is something that probably really speaks volumes to you. It's one of the villains from the movie when the Autobots land on the planet of Quintessa. They face the judgment and the wrath of the Quintesson judges. And the face is nicely sculpted. Beautiful color scheme. Again, it seems very accurate to what we see in the actual movie. And I believe the tentacles are actually articulated as well, which is a nice bonus. So they do move around. And it's kind of cool that they kind of give it a flight stand with this effect down here. And then there is the pistol accessory, which we see over here. And then you could attach it to, I believe, one of the hands here. Like that. So very, very cool. Just an amazing, amazing figure. This is so awesome because I think even to scale, it might scale well with the mainline Transformers figures from Hasbro. Speaking of Hasbro, I do have one of the official Hasbro produced Quintesson figures. And it's right here. I believe this came in a 2-pack. I want to say it might have come with, I think it was either Jazz or Wheeljack. And it was part of the Cyberverse line. As you can see, it's very much inspired by the Quintessons that we see in the animated feature from 1986, but it's very, very different. I think this is the only face that closely resembles the designs from the original film. But if you look carefully, you know, all the faces are very unique. They're very different. They're not really like the ones we see. You know, these are kind of all new characters. This Quintesson had a cool gimmick. In addition to having some of the tentacles be articulated, if you press down on its head, the faces would change, which is a really, really cool, neat gimmick. But yeah, if you're looking for something that's very screen accurate to the Transformers 1986 animated feature, the Super 7 reaction figure is the way to go. And let's take a look at the scale. So this is an older figure that I'm taking out. This is Hot Rod from, it's not Combiner Wars. I think this was from the Titans Return line because it has the Headmaster up here. But we have Hot Rod, which was classified as a deluxe/warrior figure. So this is, or at least back then, this was the average height for a basic figure in the Transformers line. They're much bigger than the figures that we get nowadays. You know, unfortunately, the figures we get nowadays are kind of small. But, you know, this Hot Rod was a decent size. And as you can see, it scales really, really well next to the Quintesson. So this is definitely worth the purchase if you can find this out in the wild. And if you happen to find it on the secondary market, try not to pay too much for it. You know, there's a lot of scalpers out there, but if you can find it for a decent price, you know, pull the trigger. You won't regret it. It's awesome, especially if you're trying to assemble a nice display shelf of just the 86 animated Transformer characters. This is a must purchase. Okay, with that being said, let's wrap this one up. Once again, my name is Lou. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning viewer or subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support. I greatly appreciate it. So until the next video, be safe, take care of yourself, buy lots of toys, and most importantly, be happy. And I'll see you at the next one. All right, later.